Hello and welcome to Infamous, the audio podcast. This is Brandon, or Mutilus on Discord.
This is Josh, go by Grummelzog on Discord.
Welcome back to this week's riveting episode of Infamous. So starting out, we'll hit our media segments. Josh, have you played or watched anything recently that's new and exciting?
So watching, I did start Spider-Man Noir. I watched
is that out?
It is all 10 episodes.
Okay.
I watched
Cool.
the first one. I watched it in black and white because you do have an option. And I think it's going to be good. I don't think it's going to be phenomenal, but I think it's going to be good. They are definitely hitting a little over the
right
heads, over your head, but the noir tones very well. So,
okay. So do you recommend watching in black and white? Do you think it was added,
so
enriched?
I assume it was filmed to be in black and white originally. That was like the intent, but obviously you're not going to catch every modern audience with that. But like Werewolf by Night is probably my favorite Marvel thing in a long time. And it's also a love letter to the old, like 1920 horrors movies that I love.
Yeah. The Universal Monsters.
Yes, Universal Monsters. And I think black and white is the superior version of that. Because A, it sets the tone, but B, the red from the Bloodstone kind of just really fits well. So I'm kind of hoping they do something like that where there'll be some color splashes that happen that are important. But we'll see. Like I said, I only watched episode 1.
Okay.
And then I am still continuing to fail at my year of hack and slashes for video games because I keep getting distracted by survival games instead. So,
what survival game are you playing?
V Rising. You ever heard of it?
That sounds familiar. I think I've watched a couple clips. Yeah.
It's a little past its like prime. It was really big for a minute, but it's you play as a vampire and you got to go around and beat bosses, and it does the typical you got to beat a boss who gives you technology that lets you build things to beat the next boss. And I really like the art of it, and it is a very fun game. On top of I'm doing a solo play, so I was kind of able to fix some of the settings that just make it enjoyable. So instead of having to wait an hour for all my iron to forge, I'm like, just make it done in 5 minutes. Does it matter? Like, so.
So it seems kind of like Ravenloft style vampires.
Yeah, very
gothic, very epic fantasy.
Yeah. And you have like, there's a bunch of different builds, so you can like go a melee vampire, you can go a like spellcasting vampire. You get different forms that do different things. A ton of different weapon options. So very enjoyable.
Yeah, this is looking pretty cool.
If you ever if you pick it up for cheap, I do highly recommend it because it's got a really good gameplay loop, and each boss is like a Diablo boss, I guess, right? Where they have like different mechanics that are happening, and you got to learn the mechanics to beat them, and you can't just brute force your way through everything. So highly enjoyable.
The games it says it's similar to are Valheim and 7 Days to Die, which I know we are both big fans of. So.
Yes.
Cool. Good to know. Yeah, I think I've watched a few clips of that before, but I didn't watch the whole trailer, and I watched it while you were chatting, and it seemed pretty cool. It seemed to hit some points.
When you get to a spot, you feel like a vampire lord, and it does feel pretty rad.
Alrighty. I've started rewatching Schitt's Creek.
Okay.
Have you watched Schitt's Creek before?
I have sporadically seen episodes. I had a buddy that really liked it, and so like if I was hanging out with him, we'd watch an episode or two. I have not watched it front to back. But
have you watched Parks and Rec?
Once again, I have sporadically seen episodes.
God. So I think Parks and Rec is better than Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
But Schitt's Creek is very good. But they have elements of the same thing, which is what I was going to bring up. There's a family in Parks and Rec, the Sapersteins, which are like the worst people ever.
Yeah.
But they're like so charismatic, even though they're like, it's like the grading of like people who unironically dab in real life, and you're like, bro, please
Oh
stop.
God.
Like they're
Yeah.
like the worst people ever, and they're so annoying, but they're so charismatic and well done at the caricatures that they are that you can't help but like them after a while. But it takes a while to build to that point.
Yeah.
And so Schitt's Creek is basically, what if we made a whole show with that being the premise?
Yeah.
It's like, these are the worst people ever, but they'll slowly grow on you, and then the point of the show is that they become like healed good people by the end of it.
Yeah.
As we're starting off was like they're awful. Basically reverse Breaking Bad. Like it goes
Yeah,
to
exactly.
a good place. And so it's very cool in that regard. But yeah, I love it. The dialogue is amazing. Like the guy who wrote it did a really good job. But yeah, the characters are also like, they start off so extremely insane. Like these are no one is like this in real life. It's beyond Always Sunny level of unbelievable.
I feel like
but then it slowly walks it back to being realistic, which is crazy to do in that order.
And I feel like I maybe watched like the first 5 episodes consecutively, and they did feel like caricatures, right? They're just over the top. Way over the top. You're like, oh God, like why don't you relax?
Yeah, and the crazy part is like by the end of season 2, everyone's like somewhat normal. Like they're still extreme, but they're like real people. And by like the end of season 4, you're like, these are real, like deeply written characters.
Yeah.
And not just like throw jokes at the wall. Like it's an interesting show. I highly recommend it to anybody who hasn't seen it. Video games. There's a new game I've been playing obsessively. It is, I think, my new favorite game of all time.
Oh.
Yeah. It is City of Heroes. I recommend everybody go try it. It's free to play.
Free to play.
Come on, it's so good. It's so good.
I've
been playing.
Getting
I've
pretty
been playing a
burnt
ton
on
of
Guild
City
Wars,
Heroes.
so
yeah, I know you like Guild Wars, but
it's just
instead you should look.
It's a comfort game. I know it in and out, and like the thing is when I first played it as a kid, I was stupid, so I didn't understand how to like do anything right. And now I understand like how to craft a build, what items I need, all of that, and I'm just like, okay, it's fun. I'll hop on, grind through some things.
Yeah. Many times over the last 5 years, I've like dabbled back into City Heroes and like done my same old favorite things I always love doing. Like there's all these events I love running through, and it's fun every time. And they're actually adding a decent amount of new content. They have been for a few years now. And the new content is like the stuff I've always liked about the game. And it's like they're just cranking the difficulty up super hard because it's a superhero game. Your characters are meant to be overpowered.
Yeah.
And so, but it's gotten to the point where they developed a new like system of upgrades called the Incarnate system, which is basically like you're moving from being a superhuman to a demigod. Like you just like look at some people and you're like, I decide that lightning hits you, and like shit like that happens.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy over the top powers. But they didn't have then the development phase to design the content that stuff was meant to be used against. And that's kind of like where it got axed. And so the people who are in charge of running the server that I play on, Homecoming, have been adding that new stuff into the game. And so now you're fighting things that would have been literally impossible on live because it would have been too difficult. And so, but now that the Incarnate system is there and fleshed out, and people are building stuff to be able to go against it, now you can do this crazy hard content, which is really rewarding.
No, I do like that. Like that's one of the things with Guild Wars is I never really got to do in-game content because I was not good at the game, so I didn't know what I was doing. And now I can go back and I'm just like, oh, this is challenging, but like I'm really enjoying it because you can just steamroll on normal. Like I know how everything works now, so
yeah,
it is nice to be able to go back. I'm actually gearing up. The problem is my favorite class is it's simultaneously the most broken class and complete dog shit. And so I'm not a damage dealer. I'm basically a support caster is the best way to describe it. And so it's hard because I want to go do like the in-game dungeons and stuff. But
you need help.
But all like, because in Guild Wars you always bring a party with you, but the party is normally AI heroes, right? Well, their AI is not good. And so you're trying to like not be the supreme damage dealer because that's not the class, but it makes it really hard to do those dungeons because the AI will just stand there and they're like, is that meteors falling on me? Should I move? Nah, we'll be fine. I'm like,
Nah, dog.
please,
I'm gonna
please
sharpen
move.
my sword mid combat, and just
Yes.
like meteor hits him. Like,
Or
fuck.
it has really bad melee AI. So like your guys will go into combat to fight, but they'll go to heal, and they're like, cool, let me run away 15 yards, heal, turn around, then I'll run back in. And it's like, no, you're losing me DPS in time.
Yeah, because like they take 10% of their health. I was like, I should heal, and then they run away to heal, and then come back later. And you're like, as the support character, you're like, but I was going to heal you.
Yes, I was going to chant so that you weren't taking damage. Now you're out of range of my chants,
and now you're actually taking damage. You're not going to come back.
Yeah,
yeah, I know how that's like. There's a pet class in City Heroes, the Mastermind, who summons 3 different tiers of pets.
Yeah.
So they get minion level, lieutenant level, and boss level pets. But they have very elaborate control over them to almost a silly degree that you can tell them what to do. And so I've been learning good ways to take control of them and do stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, City Heroes, I highly recommend that you check out City Heroes. If you used to play, awesome. If you didn't used to play but are okay playing MMOs, you should jump on and try it out. Several of us in the server play, and it's a good time. Okay, moving on. This week in the IIBBL is a bye week, or it was a bye week, and so we're gearing up to get back into it.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Ryan, get your fucking games in. He's the first guy that's like, he's the only guy that's had trouble getting his games in, really. But he's doing all right. So, Josh, who you playing this week?
I play Mr. Tyler. We're back round 2 for the Halflings. I'm pretty excited because Tyler's a great opponent, and I actually had a lot of fun against the Halflings, even though it was kind of me pasting Halflings across the board. Tyler played really well, and so it was just constantly, I'm just like, oh my fucking god, stay away from me. Stop getting near me.
He's fucking bloodthirsty.
Yeah,
halflings
and he would just
like leading the league in
and then all of a sudden there's 4 fucking halflings. I'm like, god damn.
Yeah.
So,
dude, you should have seen his game against Kenny. It was nuts. It was like 3-3
I think I watched
the first
some
half.
of it.
It was so insane. They were just fucking scoring left and right. I watched one full drive. I believe it was at the start of the second half. Halflings kick off the rats, and then just bulldoze the rat team straight off the board and score on the rats' possession. I was like, what the fuck? It's just like, just muscled his way through. He's like, here come the halflings. Like, what the fuck? It was crazy.
No, but I am having a blast. So
nice.
I'm learning a lot.
I am coming off a very fresh, good game against CJ, in which one of my players didn't die after the game, which was, I think, the first time that's happened since week 4.
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
I believe, outside of game 1, this will be the first game I get to play with a full roster.
Nice.
Because it keeps saying, like, I'm like, yeah, finally we have, because I saved up to buy 2, maybe it was game 2. But I finally got enough to buy like a second Troll Slayer. I'm like, yeah, I have not played with 2 Troll Slayers. Because as soon as the game I got enough to buy, the other Troll Slayer's like, I got hurt. Oh, okay. I'm like, all right. Neat.
I was actually just going to say, I actually had no idea how much money I had for the first time in since week 2, basically.
Yeah.
Because every week I was like, all right, I need to save money for the Yeti. And then it's like, all right, I need to save money to buy a new Berserker. All right, now I need to save money to buy a new Valkyrie. It's like, all right, now I need to save money to buy a second new Berserker because he's fucking dead too. And it's like, so finally I have money, and it's not a crisis. And so I've got 85,000 gold. I just had to look it up. How much is a Berserker? I think they're more than that. They're 90. So I'm 5k short of buying a new Berserker because this one has a serious injury of a stat degrade.
Oh, yeah.
And no XP, because why would he have XP?
I have only gotten one of those so far. And one of my blitzers lost a point of movement, which doesn't really matter for me, so...
It's not that bad. It certainly could be worse.
5-4 is like, okay, well, everyone else is already...
like you'd actually rather lose agility because you're like, what are the odds he's going to fucking pick something up anyway?
Yeah, everyone else is already moving 7, so it wasn't running you down in the first place.
So here's an interesting question. Me and Parker spent a decent amount of time talking about our the intervention I had in your guys' game.
Yes.
What was your thoughts on that? Because I was part of the reason it took me so long to say anything while it was happening is so it was like, Josh should be saying something. Do I say something if Josh isn't going to? And it was obvious at that point you weren't going to say anything. I was like, well, do I want to interrupt their game for what is technically a player choice, not a hard rule?
Yeah.
But it's like forgetting you have claws. It's like there's no reason not to use it.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to.
So my take on it would
costs
be,
you nothing.
I would understand Parker's frustrations. I would also ask for leniency from Parker because this is my first ever Blood Bowl league, and there is so much that goes into playing a game of remembering all the little rules, and it's like, I know most of my rules now, but diving tackle is like the next one I got to remember, like, oh, this is a thing. Like, that's something I could do. Because when I go through an interaction in my head, I'm like, I don't think of diving tackle. Like,
especially when you've literally never used it before.
Yeah. So, I understand.
But do you think it's okay for the commissioner of the league to point out that you guys are forgetting a rule? Because in my opinion, it's the exact same equivalent of you forgetting you had dodge. Because it's something you would never choose to not use. You would always choose to use it.
Yeah. Yes. I feel like it's fine. Like, it wasn't game changing in a way, like he lost the game, right? He still wins the game.
Right.
On top of, like I said, I'm still very new, and I would like it if people point out rules to help me remember, because I have played now, what is it? This will be my 6th game of like tabletop Blood Bowl. I do not have it down. And in a gentleman's game, like, I call out if my opponent has a rule that's useful to them, right? Like, I'll always be like, do you have dodge? Like, just to make sure. Because we're here to play and have fun. So.
Yeah, I think I agree with all that. It was in such a quick moment that I had to choose if I was going to intervene or not, like, instantly. Yeah. And I think one of the things me and Parker talked about was it didn't actually change the game at all. It functionally has no difference on the outcome of the game. But in the moment, he clearly chose, like, what I would have said is, like, if we had longer to discuss it, I would say it's like, maybe you don't want to dodge away. You want to just stand there, right? Like, because at the point that we rewound it to, he was still dodging. We never even discussed if he should just choose to not. And I think that's the correct answer is you choose to not on a block dodge piece when you can remove assists and you're forcing the dwarf player to roll a single die block. There's really not a great chance he does knock that person down. And so if all he was trying to do is not let you score in return, then that might have been a better choice. But by trying to dodge away, he basically just said, the same thing happens, I just end up scoring one less point.
Yeah.
So let's see. My next game, because I already played this week's game last week against CJ. So my next game will then be against Tyler, so maybe I can just get a game in against Tyler after you guys play.
It's quite possible. Yeah, no, like...
You're playing tomorrow?
Yes, I messaged him. We were going to play last week, even though it was bye, but poor guy had the stomach flu, and so I was like, just don't worry about it. Like, I certainly don't want stomach flu, and I wouldn't really want to play games when I have stomach flu.
What time are you playing him?
7:30.
Okay.
And then I believe my opponent week after that is CJ. So him and I might just knock it out at home.
Well, I know Tyler can't play me the following Thursday because he's got some family event.
Okay.
But I just messaged him. Does he want to just play me after he plays you, and we just knock out both weeks?
Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad. And I'm at the store by 5:30 anyway, so if he shows up early, we'll just jump into it and get going.
Cool.
I do need some dwarfs. I'm having a weird thing happen where I have 2 dwarf linemen that are just snowballing themselves, and no one else is getting any points. Like they're about to be able to level up again, and they're my 2 with tackle. And I'm like, but I
Yeah.
don't really need you leveled up again. I need other dwarfs to get tackle.
Yeah.
And so we're going to see how it goes. Because I think I need 2 more with tackle, and that would make me feel pretty good defensively.
So, just so you understand the history of League Blood Bowl, it used to be when you leveled up, it was always at 7 star player points.
Yeah.
And then, well, it was 7. There was only one option to level up. There was 7 star player points at level 1, and then I believe it's 10, and then 12 or 16, and then it kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But back in the day, you had to roll dice every time you leveled up. It was basically a weather roll, so it was between 4 and 10 was a normal skill upgrade.
Yeah.
11 was a stat upgrade, or no, 11 was like agility specifically, or a skill. 3 was movement, 12 was strength, and boxcar or 12 and snake eyes was agility. Mm-hmm. But if at any combination of your dice was a double, you could choose a secondary skill instead of a primary skill. So you could have one guy level up 5 times and just get primary skill selections.
Weird.
So if you wanted to get like block on your troll, for example, well, if he doesn't roll doubles, you're not getting block. It's just not going to happen. And so looking at Tournament Blood Bowl, which is you just buy whatever upgrade you want and then show up to a tournament with a set team value, I always felt like that was like a little bit of cheating. It was like, modding your video game to get exactly what you want. It's like,
to have the perfect
I played
stats.
a league. Yeah, I played a league and my guy never got sure hands and I needed sure hands desperately. And like, it just doesn't get it. Like, screw you, I guess. Like, if you play the Tomb Kings team, they're agility 4+ across the board and no one has sure hands. And you're like, fuck. And so you would just spend 4 turns trying to pick up the ball as your last action of every turn.
Yeah.
It was terrible. It was so frustrating.
Let me see.
But yeah, so it's just very different now where you can like basically pick whatever you want. The only thing you can't for sure do is get a specific stat upgrade. That's the only thing you can't for sure do in the current rules, which I kind of like because it doesn't punish you for getting unlucky. But at the same time, I think it's a little too user friendly, if you will. So I'm still deciding if I like it or not.
Yeah, it's hard because when I went to like go sit down and, like I said, this is my first time doing the Blood Bowl League. When I went to sit down and like read through the skills, because I got some points early and I was like, well, I can just roll for it and maybe that'll be an advantage. But like specifically, I'm playing dwarfs. I felt like there were so many skills that I wouldn't want. Like there was so much. I was just like, this isn't actively detrimental, but like it basically does nothing for me. I would rather just save for the entire league until I can get the skill I want, because otherwise it's just like extra value on a player that is not providing me extra value.
Right. And so, for example, if you just have a lineman who catches your MVP, which is 4-star player points, which is all you need to do a random level up. And so if you do a random level up, there's 12 skills in each category. You basically choose top half or bottom half and you roll 2d6.
Yeah.
And then you can choose either number and you can choose the corresponding skill. Well, there's elite skills in 3 of the 4 categories. And I don't think any of them are paired because there's Mighty Blow and Guard are the 2 elites in strength, but they're split up in the 2 different categories. There's Block and Dodge in general and agility. And then it's Deception or Devious and Mutation and Passing are the other 3 categories. And none of them have an elite skill in it. But what could happen is if you choose a strength on a lineman who gets an MVP, you're spending 4-star player points to potentially get an elite skill on a 1 in 3 chance.
Yeah.
And so if you get an elite skill on said lineman, because they had the strength category, you just give that guy plus 30k value out of nowhere. And so he's basically done nothing to earn a star player point. He's just got a random MVP, which is, 1 in 6.
Yeah.
And then he gets plus 30k. Well, a lot of linemen are only 40k to start with.
I wish.
So you've almost doubled the cost of said random lineman. And if he's, like, let's say he gets Mighty Blow, well, if you're not actually throwing good blocks with him and he's not knocking people down, he's not even using Mighty Blow. So you're paying double team value to get a guy who's basically got no skill.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to throw a 1-die block with an unskilled lineman. Or at least if you are, then you're just an idiot.
I'll do it.
Well, you're not doing it with unskilled linemen. Dwarf linemen have skills.
Fair. That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, it's different when it says human or zombie on there. There's no relevant skills involved. And even if you are throwing blocks with them, it's certainly one of the last actions you're taking in a turn, which means it's very likely you will fail to roll before then and to end your turn anyway. So anyway, you do that a couple of times, and now all of a sudden you have an extra 100,000 team value for irrelevant dumb skills, and your opponent is then getting 100,000 golden inducements to use against you, and you're not able to properly leverage those players.
Yeah.
And so usually it's a bad idea. However, that's just the downside. At the same time, you could just get 3 dwarf linemen with guard, and that's amazing. Because now your whole team has guard all the time. That's awesome. But yeah, as a dwarf specifically, I think they just get general as a primary. I don't think they get strength.
No, so they lost strength in their deception team now.
So they don't have strength access. They have general and deception.
I think my blisters.
They already have block though.
Yeah.
So if you do pull a skill, you're just increasing their value by 20,000, which puts them to what, like 75k a guy.
No, that puts them at like 90k a guy. Dwarf linemen are like 70,000.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. So 3 linemen is 210 value, and like nobody would ever spend 210 on them. Like they're already crazy expensive.
I mean, that is kind of like to the point of what I'm hitting, is that they've got tackle. These 2 guys, they're now getting close to being a level up again, but there's nothing I want for them. Like, I could put something on them, but they only get general. They've kind of got all the skills I want, and it just feels like team bloat for team bloat reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So, we shall see. I'm really tempted by the Death Roller. I've got 160,000 gold now, I think. And I'm like, that's a Death Roller plus a bribe.
Yeah.
And
Death Roller is good against trees, so that's not nothing.
There are a lot of trees. Is there normally this amount of big guys in a league?
No.
Okay.
Big guys?
Because we have 5.
No, but you haven't played against all of them yet. So I have a big guy. Kenny has a big guy. That's 2.
Aaron has 2.
Aaron's the stunty team. Hold on. You don't have one. And Parker doesn't have one because they're not allowed. Mm-hmm. So the 2 of the 4 teams that aren't running stunties have a combined 2 big guys. So that's 2 of 4 players. And then on the flip side, we have double treeman, double troll, double pump wagon. So there's 10 in the 4 stunty team players, which is definitely above average. I would say the average is 2 per player, and we're at like 2.4 or 2.5 maybe. It's a lot. So yeah, there's 12 total big guys amongst 8 players.
It has been very curious to have to play into that, because it's like these walls I just can't get through, because I don't feel like I'm that strong. Like
you just go around them.
Yeah.
Like you don't bother with it. If you want to send your Troll Slayer at them, you can. It's fine if you do, but I would not prioritize that block.
Yeah.
It's just kind of you just put them in there 1v1, and you're just like, hey, if the troll guy beats you, cool. If not, whatever.
Yeah.
But if you're just putting 4 guys into a troll every turn, you are going to lose that battle, because that's the whole point. It's designed to do that. Is if you fairly overcome their strength, you're overcommitting resources. And then you start losing everywhere else. That's the way it's designed to work. And that's why they get exactly 2 big guys on most stunty teams. Because if you just lined up and your whole team has an extra block die against their team, that's completely unfair.
Yeah.
And so they need their 2 winning points to hold the line. Yeah, so that's definitely working as intended. You're much better off just ignoring them. And so if you have a team that can dodge away, obviously that's great. Since you don't, you need to intentionally deploy your guys into where a big guy can only engage one of your people.
Yeah.
So if you're just spamming the line with dwarves, each big guy's engaging 3 of them. And then they're going to knock one of them down, and now you're 2v1ing the other guy. So you're bringing in extra muscle to try and then overcome, but that's exactly the game plan he wants you to do.
I suppose that makes sense.
Because let's say hypothetically, either through claws or mighty blow or whatever, they're going to knock your guy backwards and knock him down. hopefully break armor, which is not going to happen all the time because you're dwarves. But he's gonna displace one of your guys, hopefully injuring him. And then if you just turn around and flood resources into that space to fight the guys, you're putting in somewhere between 6 and 8 dudes to fight 2 guys, which is only leaving you, 5 to 3 guys remaining to fight the rest of his 9 players, which is how he wins. But if you spread out and you go like, all right, 1 dwarf, 2 spaces, 1 dwarf, 2 spaces, 1 dwarf, it's like, okay, well now your trees are only getting 1 guy, and then I'm going to fight 9v9 the rest of the way.
That's a really good point.
And that's when they lose, because they lose all 9 of those fights.
Yeah.
And they win the 2 where it's strength 6 versus strength 3. But if then you bring your slayers in, and if they just make their dauntless roll with block, you're doing great.
And I will do it every single time.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give it a shot.
Which is fine. Because if you actually buy the death roller, you're buying bribes every game, because you're basically pumping 100k into bribes every game.
Oh, I don't have 100k every game.
Exactly. And once you buy the death roller, you're kind of locked into having a death roller, because now your team value is insane.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and so everyone you play is getting a master chef. They're eating all your rerolls, and you're like, fuck.
I see your Yeti leveled up. That's pretty rad.
He did. So he is now a Juggernaut. So he's actually literally designed to kill trees at this point, even though that wasn't my intent.
Hell yeah, brother.
So Juggernaut, on a blitz action, you ignore stand firm, and you treat all both downs as pushes. So it's like getting block. And because my Yeti has Frenzy, he gets to use Juggernaut on both of his blocks.
Yeah.
On Frenzy. So as long as I can set up the proper assists, he's pushing the tree back when he doesn't want to get pushed back. And he has claws, so he breaks the tree's armor 11 on an 8. Because claws always break armor on an 8.
Yeah. That's pretty rad.
So he's really good against trees. And there's 4 trees in our league, so bonus. I just like Juggernaut. It's like a cheap block.
I have it on one of my Slayers. I don't know why. I was just like, give it a try.
Okay. All right, I would like to talk about 40k with you for a moment.
Okay, let's talk.
Now, I have to be careful here, because I'm worried that people think that I hate 40k. And I don't hate 40k.
Okay.
I hate Games Workshop. I want to be clear on that.
Okay.
I hate James Workshop, the person.
Yeah.
And I expect that the majority of our 40k listeners are friends of mine, so I'm trying not to attack them specifically. But I don't know if you know this. There's a new edition of 40k coming out soon. Have you heard of this?
Yes, I think
11th edition.
I think every time I open my phone, it tells me, and I get at least one email a day.
Yeah. So, I love that their process for creating a new rule edition is go back to our 4th edition editable PDF that we have, copy that into a new Word doc, and start changing things. That's how they design a new rule set. Okay, don't bring in the previous edition. Go all the way back to the year 1999 and get that rules edition and copy paste, because the last 4 editions in a row, we've had the same problem of they specifically say that pivoting a model does not cost movement, but they have models on oval bases and models that don't have bases that are impossibly shaped, right? It's like a centipede. And they're like, yeah, just turn it for free. And it's like, okay, well, I'm now 5 inches closer to the thing I want to charge because I turned it for free. And you're like, great. So yeah, everyone's talking about that. It's already been caught instantly that they didn't fix that, like they didn't fix it the previous edition. So it always gets errated later, and it's like, fuck.
I had to remember what it's called, but you gotta remember, they have one STC for the rules.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they can ever use. All the others have been lost to
Everything
time
has to be built on the
space.
original rules template.
If they can't make a new one, that would be heresy.
Yeah. So now the next part, I actually have very mixed feelings about. That's the new terrain for the new edition.
Oh yeah, it's
I was not a big fan
now, right?
Yes. They've been very specific for the last couple. Because basically, I don't know if you remember, there was a time like 4 or 5 years ago that every table had these L's on them, is what they called them. They're 12 inches tall, 12 inches wide L's. Just corner pieces of buildings. And the corners would be facing each other. So basically, they had to build massive line of sight blocking terrain because shooting was so overpowered.
Yeah.
And if you didn't do that, you get vaporized as soon as you got close to the midline. And so to attempt to make melee armies playable, there's these giant, like, it was like the thing I've been referring to it as is it's like playing paintball. There's intentionally massive line of sight blocking terrain that they put in convenient locations to allow you to advance, because without it, you just couldn't. You just get vaporized. And then for a lot of that time, you're allowed to just move through these, like, equivalent to the model would be like walking up to a 50-foot wall of solid concrete and just teleporting through it to get to the other side. It's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? And so it's just very weird. So they got rid of that, and they brought out the very specific new pieces of terrain that you'd play the game with, because they don't know how to balance it. And to be fair, it is difficult because most game shops, for the history of the game, have just used whatever terrain they thought they should use. And so there's no standardization between it. It's all just kind of anything goes. One store will play with a massive amount of line sight blocking terrain, and then another store will play on a desert. And it's just like just open shooting galleries everywhere. And so it's hard to balance a game without knowing what people are playing on. And for a long time, GW was attempting to get more competitively minded by making the game more balanced in a competitive atmosphere. Yeah. But they were not being vocal or transparent in any way about how they played the game in their studio. Yeah. And so if I don't know how much terrain GW is using, I don't know what they want armies to look like. Mm-hmm. And so if shooting armies are completely busted and killing everybody, what are they playing on that they think it's balanced? And then they started releasing that information. I believe it was in 9th edition it started coming out in a more mainstream way. And so people started mimicking their terrain layouts. And this was back when a lot of people called it the WTC terrain pack. And it became very popular because that's when the information started coming out more. So for the last 2 editions then, it's been very standardized that GW says, this is what we want terrain to work like. This is what we want tables to look like. And you guys should be playing on these to get the balanced experience that we are intending. Yeah. And since then that has happened, there's been a big move towards terrain is more fair and more balanced and more competitive, which is great. The problem is that they've been changing it about every 2 years. And so it's incredibly expensive for a game store that caters to 20 plus tables of wargaming happening on a weekend. Yeah. To build that amount of terrain and paint it every 2 years. It's incredibly expensive. Yeah. And that's been a problem. The newest 2 sets we used all laser cut wood terrain that we would then later paint.
I used them for Trench Crusade.
Exactly. Jenny, former manager of the Geekery, did a great job painting the last set that we had. But the most recent set we had it's just like, how many times can you expect somebody to paint 50, 60, 100 buildings? Yeah. For 40K tables and expect them to stay up to the same standard, especially when they get mistreated, they don't get put away right, and it's going to change in a year anyway, so who fucking cares? And so it's just hard to keep it going. Now, visually, my problem with the most recent terrain pack, because I think functionally it was very good, but visually I think it was terrible, because to make the terrain function the way they wanted, there had to be so much line of sight blocking terrain that the table feels like it's 6 separate battles happening in these little segregated compartments. Okay. Like the buildings just cut off whole sections of the table. It was a lot of tall rectangular buildings put in L shapes that just block off whole corners so you can't see into it. And that was the only way they could keep shooting from killing everybody. So the new terrain kit are utilizing a combination of area terrain and ruins, if you know anything about how 40K worked in the past. So every terrain piece has a template underneath it, an outline. Yeah. That outline, it follows the area terrain rules. So you cannot see through 2 boundaries of it. So you can't see into it and out the other side. That's never allowed. Okay. If you're in it, you can see out of it anywhere, because you're only looking through 1 boundary at that point. If I step into the terrain, you can see me, but because I'm in a piece of area terrain, I'm automatically concealed, which gives you a -1 to hit. Okay. So there's a trade-off. If I want to be able to charge you, I have to enter the smoke cloud effectively. Yeah. Allowing you to see me, because I'm in the smoke, not behind it. but you'll get to see me, but I'll get bonuses for being, in cover. Now, the second component is they're putting rigid three-dimensional terrain on top of the template. So you could have a big corner of a building standing there that I can hide behind, which still blocks line of sight as normal. But if you're able to corner peek me and like get around the edge of the terrain, you can't just turn a flamer and kill everyone in my unit, as an example.
Yeah.
You can't throw a grenade and blow up the whole squad. So because I'm still in the terrain. So it forces the engagement to happen at a shorter range, which is kind of what terrain does in real life. So that's all great, but the secondary component of what has happened is because the templates are doing the line of sight blocking that the old tall buildings were doing, the tables have opened up a lot visually, and you can now see one large battle happening and not these multiple pockets of combat happening in between streets. And so in the few games that we've seen played, it's been visually much more appealing, which has been very nice. So kudos on them for solving a problem that's been a problem for a long time in a very simple way that also makes the game look better. So functionally, the way the train works, I'm a big fan of. The amount of train that you need, like the quantity of pieces, seems reasonable, and the templates that you need also seem reasonable. So kudos on all that. Here's where we're going to get to the part where I'm going to start asking you questions.
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah.
All right. So knowing the number of deployments that we use in MCP, how many unique deployments and unique terrain setups do you think are justified in a war game?
Like, okay, so I got trying to think through the question.
So with MCP, in deployment-wise, we effectively had, what was it, like 6 for a long time?
Like, where you put your guys down?
For the objective setups.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
There was like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
They've increased that, and a lot of them are just small variations on previous ones.
Okay, I get what you're saying now. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I was starting to look into how we were going to get all the train we need for the store, I got exposed to the stuff because it's all coming out slowly as the set's being spoiled.
Yeah.
How many unique layouts do you think there are for 11th edition that have been rumored and confirmed?
I am going to go with 4.
Okay. Do you think it's a high guess or a low guess?
I am going to say that's a low guess.
Okay.
Because I'm going to assume that they are trying to test the waters before they release more. Because like I follow GW's release cycle now. I don't play most of their games, but I still like find 40K interesting. I still find Age of Sigmar interesting. I still read the articles they put out whenever they come out. For the most part. But I feel like they're going to go with like a really low number until they figure out how they like it, and then they'll do like 20.
Okay,
how many are there?
Well, I will tell you that you were correct that your guess was low.
Oh, okay. Oh, shit. I was like, 4. I fucking called it. I'm a psychic. Okay.
You are, in fact, not psychic.
Oh, there goes all my, like, literally my entire plan for my life, so.
Okay. So, 4 is low.
Okay.
When it was first presented to me, I had my good friend John. He sent me all the information that I said I needed, and he's like, "Here are all the different pieces of terrain." And he sent me 3 screenshots of deployments and said, "These are the 3. You need to make all these different pieces," which is a grand total of, I believe it's 30 unique physical objects that fit on top of 18 different templates. Each table uses 16 templates, so there's 2 templates that are not used on every table. And those alternate. Now, on those 16 different pieces, some of them have multiple pieces of terrain. So, like, for example, there's 2 L's on a rectangle. The 2 pieces go on one template to make one piece of terrain. There's 16 pieces of terrain on each table. But to make those 16 pieces, you need 30 objects to put on the templates. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So a lot of them have 2 pieces on them.
Okay.
But just imagine you have a large rectangle, and then on opposite corners, there's L-shaped ruins.
Okay.
Yeah, so 2 physical objects go on top of one template to make one piece of terrain. Every table uses exactly 16 pieces of terrain.
Okay.
So, 4 is low. Give me a second guess. We're going to see if we can get in 3.
12.
It is higher than 12.
Is it 20?
It is higher than 20.
No, it's not. You're fucking
How about this? It's more than double 20.
There's no way.
There are 45 unique layouts for 11th edition, is what I've been told.
And so these are like the missions you're playing.
All we know, because the specifics aren't out. So again, this could be like fucking Craven the Hunter spoiler, where it's like he can move 4 times and roll 28 attack dice, and they're manipulating the story to make it sound like whatever they want.
Yeah.
My prediction is that there are 6 army deployments that happen on 9 different battlefields.
Okay.
Is what I think is happening. And so that would be 45. So there's 9 different possible terrain layouts and 6 different army deployments, and then you draw each of them effectively at random. But that's not what happens. I've been told that what actually happens is your army has an identifier. Basically, it's like, let's say you're playing Ultramarine Bolter Drill Siege variant. So, okay, well, that tells me that you're a A3 army. Your opponent is a B6 army, and so you'll go to a chart, and it'll tell you what terrain and what deployment to use.
I have not played since 8th edition. My main playing was in 5th edition.
Sure.
That's too much thinking. I can't be bothered.
I don't disagree with you. That's not what we're here to talk about.
I just want this known, that I am an orc player at heart, and once you're like, you got to do this, I'm like, no, I don't care. I'm running at you, and we're going to fight, and we're going to see who's going to win, and I don't really give a shit about anything else. Which is why I probably didn't win very many games, but that's okay. I had fun doing it.
No, that's fine. Yeah, so I was stunned to find out there were 45 different deployments.
Wild.
And I don't know how people are supposed to figure that out on their own at home. And every time I've asked that question to people, they go, oh, well, most people will just muddle their way through and just play with whoever they want to play with. I was like, yeah, but then why do it?
I mean,
he's like, well, it's for the competitive players. Like, well, the competitive players don't want that. Like, I talk to the competitive players. That's not what they want. They want 45 different deployments.
The thing is,
they want 3 or 6 that work. That's what they want.
The thing is, too, is having played in tournaments through a couple different game systems now, a lot of times TOs will just make their own pack.
That has not been a thing in 40K for a while.
Really?
Because of GW pushing the packs. And I think it's a good thing that they're making things more consistent. Because basically when 8th edition first came out, it was free-for-all No Man's Land, which was coming off of 7th, so it was pretty standard. And a lot of people were kind of just doing whatever they wanted, and they were coming to find out that the game was a little broken. Yeah. And so a group called ITC, it was the International Tournament Championships, something like that. Anyway, it was an acronym for a gaming group that was associated with Battlefront. I think it was Battlefront. No, Frontline Gaming. I think that was just the same store that the group was at.
Yeah.
And so the ITC was kind of like Commander Magic the Gathering. It's like they started organizing the format that they liked and making it a more mainstream thing. Mm-hmm. And then after a couple years of them running it, the GW basically bought the rights of ITC from them now that it was a recognizable brand. And then they released their own ITC packets that now GW is curating. And don't quote me on any of this. I believe this is correct based on hearsay that I get at the game store, but I don't actually have any of the evidence.
Okay.
Then as that kept happening, then Chapter Approved happened, which is the new GW tournament packet is Chapter Approved. And that's happened over the last 3 or 4 years. It's been kind of integrated into that. So anyway, now everything is based on GW official stuff. They've kind of taken control of organized play of 40K from the community.
Yeah.
And so that you buy a deck of cards now that you will use to draw like special turn-based objectives where it's like, I drew Bring It Down, so I need to kill a tank this turn, and the larger tank I kill, the more points I get. And so, but if I fail to kill a tank, then I lose these points. I have to discard and draw a new card. Stuff like that.
Okay.
And so that's a secondary objective. Your primary objective is still like score the objectives on the table. And so you can get like a maximum of 4 primaries every turn. You get a maximum of 4 secondaries every turn. And then you get like army bonuses of like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And so like at the end of 6 turns, you theoretically could score up to 100 is basically the way it works out.
Okay.
And so if I score 75 and you score 40, then we compare our points and I win by 35. So that's a major victory. That's the way tournament works now.
Yeah. Gotcha.
You also get bonus points for being painted or whatever. Anyway, that's kind of the way it's been for the last several years.
Too much
Words.
thinking.
I said so many fucking words. Yeah, I agree. I think it's a little overhandling, but people like it. So
yeah, and the
40K
thing
has been in a better spot lately than it had been before that.
and the thing is like I always encourage it. You should always play what you like. I know 40K is still the most popular tabletop game by like a factor of 2.
Oh, it's huge right now.
That means there are twice as many people playing the most popular as there are the second most popular, which is crazy.
I would bet it's more than that even. I think it's like 4 or 5 to 1 right now.
And 40K was not a super well-known thing when I was getting into it, so it's really cool to see it blow up and people enjoying it. And the models are fantastic. And kudos to you if you play it, but I don't think I can ever go back.
It's very different now. I would say the number of old school players is pretty low.
Yeah.
It's pretty much a gap of like the 6th and 7th group is like a small sliver of the current community, and then it's basically 8th forward is like the large portion of the community.
Yeah.
Of active players.
And I think part of it is I have played a lot of you'll probably know the term better than I, but like a rotating turn like MCP where it's like I go, you go, I go,
alternating
you go.
Activation.
Alternating activations. Thank you. And I find that to be a superior game design.
You motherfucker.
Because
everyone says superior and not just like I prefer it.
Superior game design.
It's not superior. It's objectively not.
ASMR thing, not superior.
Exactly.
Game design.
Yeah. No, I can understand why people like it, but it's a different experience. I much prefer the army turn activation.
I do in my fantasy games,
right?
But not.
It's like playing.
Not when I can watch a third of my army get shot off the table, which could have been bad play on my part. I'll fully admit that. But
I was going to say, it's like if a third of your army is dying in a single activation,
just like
you've made horrific
I hate
mistakes.
watching my opponent do all the things from across the table, and then I have to respond to it, and it's just like, okay.
One of the reasons I liked War Machine so much, and I know we go back to this a lot, it wasn't just that my whole army goes, and it is that things in War Machine are meant to kill other things. So basically, everything has a kill bubble. It can kill this much stuff.
Yeah.
If you get inside the circle, you're probably going to die. But it's deeper than that because there's all these overlapping circles, and then you have counter pieces. It's like, well, normally this thing would kill stuff really well, but this thing is really good against this type of attack specifically. And then it's layering your unit activations over the top of each other. So it's like, let's say I have my really valuable piece in the middle of my army. I have bubble wrapped it with my different units that are good at defending it, and so you have to attack it in exactly the right way to break through.
Yeah.
And assuming you do that, you'll get to succeed. And then it's all about how I've set up my counter attacks to attack you. Basically, it's zoomed out battle is kind of what it's like. As where a lot of like 40K is now getting to that point. Originally, I would say it was not very much that way. It just tended to be people shooting each other off the table.
Yeah.
Current 40K is more about how do I force you to allocate your important units to the battle before I have to allocate my important units to the battle.
Yeah.
And so it's more like chess where it's like take. My queen is left alive, yours is not. And that's a winning trade. And so it's about utilizing that kind of planning as opposed to just going orcs charge space marines. It's like, I know that's fun and it is, and that's part of why it's enjoyable, because just saying takes over and again isn't fun. It's when you get to roll the dice in between as well. Yeah.
60 dice, Brandon. 60 dice. No, I mean, orc charge. Loved it.
It was 120 actually. Orcs had 2 attacks base, 2 weapons for Slugga Choppa, and then charging was 4
I was
attacks.
a youngin'. I didn't know.
You didn't even know. He was just rolling 60. Didn't even need it. Yeah.
So, I assume you guys are expecting a pretty big turnout for 40K.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I don't show up on 40K nights, but I still see people playing on Thursdays, so I assume there'll be quite a big.
Yeah, we're having
Are you gonna have a release day tournament or anything?
Release day event, which is mostly just a celebration. Come up and hang out.
Cool.
And that's on the 20th. And our goal is to have a bunch of terrain painted by then. We'll see how it goes.
Cool.
All right. So let's get into our next segment. I'm sure I've monologued for long enough now. We're getting into Mojo World. This week in Mojo World, we have X-Men villains.
Okay, so I have a little question, just because of the list I'm looking at. is this X-Men as a whole villains, or is it?
Are you saying like members of the X-Men villains? Like is Sabretooth an X-Men villain because he's Wolverine's villain?
Yeah.
I think it depends on the particular character. Like you could say Doctor Doom is an X-Men villain because he fights the X-Men occasionally, but
okay.
I don't think that's what I would say. I think you could make an argument.
I wanted to make sure before I got into the weeds.
Okay. Do you want to go first?
I mean, do you want me to pick the very obvious I'm going to get votes on?
I'm just saying in a 2-person draft, going first is only good if there is a number one numero uno that matters.
There is.
Every other example, it's very bad because getting 2 picks before you get your second one can be pretty harsh. But obviously we both know who's going number 1 overall, so I'm giving you the choice.
Okay. I like fairness. Do you have a D6 nearby?
I have random.org.
Okay. Pull it up. And let's each roll a D6.
All right.
Or whatever it is.
I was just going to say odds or evens, and I'll roll a D1000. How about that?
Okay, cool. I'll take odds, because the odds are in my favor.
Whoa. We have to roll to see who gets to pick
okay.
odds or no,
okay.
Just kidding.
Okay.
So what are you taking?
I'll take odds.
Taking odds. All right. A man after my own heart. 409. Your call, sir.
Okay. Well, we're going to go with Magneto as the first of the X-Men villains. It's the obvious one.
This is my surprise.
We should have banned it. We'd be like,
no,
okay, X-Men
Magneto's
villains,
fine.
But Magneto.
Shout
out to my brother Zach. I believe he is still repping Magneto on the tabletop currently. And
I think he's still wearing the helmet.
I think
I know he's asleep, but he is wearing it to sleep.
He has a helmet, and he's up to I convinced him to get some Magneto action figures. So
nice. All right. Well, with Magneto off the board as villains, there's only one remaining choice: the Mr. Sinister,
Mr. Bad Touch himself.
Yeah. What just an evil douchebag.
Yep. Me and CJ joke about it all the time. His entire plan is just to have Scott and Jean fuck. That's all he wants. Imagine that being your life's work and desires. You have 2 dolls. I need these people.
I mean, that's how he shows up in the but it's exactly like the Phoenix storyline. It's why is Jean Grey always turning into the Phoenix? Well, it actually is extreme rarity.
Yeah.
But every time it gets adapted to any new type of media, that's the story they do. So it's just really boring. It's how many times has Uncle Ben died in the MCU? Fuck off, dude.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So Mr. Sinister, my favorite story that Parker has told me of Mr. Sinister in comic books is in the Croatoa arc when they have Ultimate Mutant Society, everyone's working together, and so just imagine if you had every mutant on the planet all in one place, intentionally working together, trying to min-max their powers, and it's completely fuck-busted.
Yeah.
And so Mr. Sinister decides to try and bring it all down. And so he uses a time machine to try and bring down the council. And so it's just panel after panel after panel of Mr. Sinister trying new ways to fuck everybody. So he just walks into a room with a gun the size of a fucking couch. And he just starts shooting people. And then, of course, one of the mutants stops him. And he's like, all right, new plan. And he just nukes the island. You're
glorious.
What is he doing? Then he poisons everybody. It's just Sinister just doing dastardly bullshit for no reason. It's you fuck. It's very funny. So after that, I feel like there's an obvious choice.
Okay. Let's see what you got.
But I think with you getting 2 picks, it's very unlikely I'll get my favorite one back.
But remember who you're talking to.
That's true. You are Captain Sabotage.
Do I not always am okay, I have a really good pick. I'm going to pick 2 dog shit ones.
If you don't pick Harpoon Man, I am going to be sad.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to go with Juggernaut.
Juggernaut is a good choice.
All right, back to you, sir. You can have the other low-hanging fruit.
Don't say that, because now I feel pressure. I'm actually going to choose William Stryker, because I find that to be a compelling... he's just a human. He's I fucking hate mutants.
Yeah. Is Stryker with a Y or...
Stryker.
So with a Y.
Yeah, and I like that he has no superpowers or anything. He's nope.
Yeah, he's just a dick.
He's just
it's just a racist prick.
Just a racist prick. It's okay.
I was gonna go with the final pick of racism. Is the
racism.
mutant villain.
Yeah.
All right.
The
All right, so you got William Stryker. You're up next.
Okay, so here's my one that I'm not quite sure, because I'm gonna say Silver Samurai. Parker could correct me. I looked it up. He is part of the Brotherhood of Mutants first, before he's like a Wolverine villain.
I think that's fine.
Okay. But that is sheerly off design, because that is super cool. He looks super cool. Okay.
Japanese sword required 2 hands.
Are you going to pick the one?
See, I have 4 left on my list, and I think only one of them is a cancer choice. So I think the other 3 are all very legitimate choices.
Yeah.
Looking at my list, I'm going to avoid one because it's kind of tied to what I already picked. So it's really up for the obvious pick, which I'm not a huge fan of personally. It's kind of just overdone. And then the other option is just like, there's not really anything characterful about it, but it's a better villain in my mind.
Yeah.
Fine, I'll do the easy one. Apocalypse.
Okay. I did not choose Apocalypse because I have not read very many X-Men comics. I find him to be incredibly boring as a character.
I think Apocalypse is more interesting than Thanos, but he's obviously in the very same vein of just generic big bad evil bad guy.
He has all the things.
Why?
They have to do Ex Machina to beat him, and it's just like, it's the same reason I hate Superman. I find Superman to be the most boring character because it's like,
well, he's boring because you can't punish him because he's the good guy.
Yeah.
And so he's never punished and never held to account for his bullshit. And he's just like, he's just so flat and boring.
He gets to
like
do
the altruistic
everything,
choice thing doesn't matter when you're infinitely strong.
Yeah.
Like Captain America is the altruistic person in the MCU, and he constantly loses because of it. Like he could just beat some of the people he beats. He's not like ultimately, he's like, I refuse to kill anybody. He obviously kills people, but he tries not to most of the time. But yeah, it's just like he gets in spots where he's like, I like my morality is costing me here, and it's actively matters as opposed to the guy who's completely invulnerable. And it's like,
so interesting enough, I just picked up a trade paperback comic that I read called, it's a one shot, so it's like, 60 pages or whatever, called Avengers Twilight. I liked it. It was fine, but that directly plays into, it's basically old man Captain America in like, the 2050s cybertech world. Mm-hmm. And like the world has gone beyond and America doesn't stand for the values that he thinks it should. And it ends up being very bad for everyone involved because Captain gave up. He's like, nah, they didn't want my values or my old-fashioned ways. No. And it's like, no, Cap, like we kind of needed that and you left us out to dry. So
okay.
Who are your
honorable mentions? First is Master Mold.
Okay, that was a good one.
I think that's just a fun concept. But again, it's not really like a personality. Like it's not a villain because of like who it is. It's like Doctor Doom is very powerful, but he's not a good character because he's strong. He's a good character because he has a strong personality.
Yeah.
And so Master Mold is the opposite. He's only scared because he has a lot of power and not because it's just like a mindless thing. Anyway, the next one on the list was Sebastian Shaw.
Sebastian Shaw was almost on mine.
Yeah.
And although I don't really know if he's that great of a villain, I almost, just because of the name of our game, picked Mojo because it was like, it's silly.
It was like Mojo in Mojo World. I feel like that's an auto.
I love him as a character. Just the shittiest, sleaziest TV executive, like fantastic. Great meta narrative, I suppose.
Yeah.
Ahab.
Is this think you're going to win, but I think I deserve to win.
Probably. I'll give.
Well, I mean, just to say, like your opponent has Magneto, you get to pick 2, and you're like, what? Like this is bullshit.
Yeah. You mean he has the best written #1 X-Men villain? Oh.
It's like when we drafted Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. It's like, okay, you're going last, and Predator and Terminator 2 are off the board, and you're like, great.
Conan the Barbarian.
I guess I'll take Jingle All the Way in Conan.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
fuck me. Like, I don't know, a lot of people didn't realize this until we actually looked at it. He's an incredibly famous actor, but he actually only has like 4 good movies.
Yeah, no, he did a lot of like schlock.
There's a lot of bad ones.
Yeah.
Anyway. So you said you're getting competitive into, or not competitive, more competitive into Guild Wars now. Is there a lot of like math and difficulty of like planning in Guild Wars?
Not really. It is a lot of just understanding what you're going up against and then what you're using.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's the math becomes inconsequential when you basically are just nuking everything.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily in a bad, like, oh my god, there's no challenge, you just blow through. It's just like, basically there's a class called Mesmer, and they're like an illusionist, right? They're the most busted fucking thing, because they have access to like quick fire interrupts. And so what you do is you send them out to attack all of the NPCs, like their high damage dealers.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out if their high damage dealers never get to cast a spell because they're constantly interrupted, you kind of just roll through their front line and then you get into the back line. So,
one of the best things about City Heroes, in my opinion, is that they make all the math on the back end visible to the players if you want to look at it.
Yeah.
So you can monitor like in-game combat attributes. And so because of that, then people started immediately weaponizing like the sweet spots of bell curves and things. And obviously I love the fact that your characters feel very epic in what they try to do.
Yeah.
It's like if you had a blaster who's like the mage in the game, he's basically glass cannon. If you just put 3 even level basic minions against them, they will die if they don't kill them fast enough.
Yeah.
And so tanks in the reverse have, say, it's almost double the base hit points of a blaster, but it really comes down to their insane damage mitigation they can get to. So you can get to, there's a defense mechanic for accuracy and there's a resistance mechanic for taking less damage. So you can get to pretty reliably about 95% damage mitigation to your specific type that you're supposed to be good against. And so like an invulnerability tanker is designed to resist physical damage, and then like an energy tank is designed to resist energy damage, and blah 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 down the line. And so a lot of people don't understand at that those percentages, how they scale towards the end, because you're approaching 0. And as you approach 0, each number becomes exponentially more valuable than the previous number.
Yeah.
And so I was going through like a deep math dive, and I was talking to my buddy Simon, who plays it with me. And I was like, what is the difference between, here, let me find the exact example I gave. 99.5% damage mitigation and 93.2% damage mitigation is, they're both very similar big numbers, but one is nearly 14 times more damage taken than the previous number.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's just like, it scales very large. And so then to put that into context for what's it mean is if you're fighting even level white minions, like the no difficulty added, they're just basic minions, you can infinitely tank 46 of them if you have 99.5. If you have the other number, you can tank 3 of them without dying. And so it's a massive gap.
There is a little bit of that in Guild Wars. There's a build called the 55 HP Monk. And basically what you're doing is a monk normally has like 300 HP, right?
Is it like, but the lower their health, they get like more resistance?
So it's,
or you're just selling all your hit points for more resistance.
You're essentially selling your hit points for more resistance. And what you're doing is you're using skills and items to lower your health. And then that lowered health means that you take less damage from enemies that are doing percentage of damage hit or something like that.
Yeah.
But on top of that, you're layered with all these enchantments that are lowering your damage. And so where normally if you have 300 health, you would get hit by this spell, you're taking 125 health. Because you only have 55 health on top of your like damage reduction, you take like 3.
Mm-hmm.
And so they use that as a farming build, and it's not super fast. It's not like a speed clear, but it's like you can just run this over and over and never die. You're basically using it to farm undead because they take double holy damage, right? And so you just use that. I have never gotten into that kind of thing because I'm always trying to do other things, but it is a very similar. I also just looked it up. They were both, I figured I remembered this. They're both Guild Wars and Cities of Heroes were published by the same company. So
NCSoft?
NCSoft, yeah.
Nice. Very cool. Alrighty, well, let's get out of here so people can turn in for the night.
Cool.
Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed. This has been Brandon.
And Josh.
And you've just listened to Why Is My Poop Green? Callbacks.
Callback.
So what are we going to call this thing?
I got it. Okay. Incredible, new, fantastic, astonishing, mighty, original, uncanny, sensational podcast.
I'm just going to put down Infamous.